want this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and do a.
Yeah. Test.
What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. I also like purple. So you said you had an egg sandwich for breakfast?
Yeah.
Is that your normal breakfast?
No, I mix it up.
Mix it up.
Sometimes I have yogurt. Sometimes there's just eggs.
I get that feeling. Overnight oats ever?
I do like them.
Yeah. It's just,
I haven't had them in a while.
it's hard to remember to set them up. That's the problem I'm running into. All right, everybody sound good?
Yeah.
Good? Okay. So one thing I noticed the last group didn't do, the first question we need to ask?
What's your name?
Yep.
Name and spelled out.
Position. Yeah. Go ahead. Who's jumping in with that one?
What is your name and position? How do you spell your name?
My name is Tristan Wheeler, TRISTEN WHEELER, and I'm the Associate Director of the Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center.
How many years have you been in the position?
I've been in the position a year and a half now. I've been in the department for almost 4 years.
What's something that goes on behind the scenes about running it that most people wouldn't guess goes on with running a food pantry?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's anything that's surprising, but I think what people don't think about is how we stock it. I have to drive my car to Walmart. I have to go pick up stuff from Sam's. We have to make sure we're advertising as much as possible for volunteers, making social media content. Yeah, things like that. I guess also planning for closures, what's going to happen if it rains or if there's a big storm that comes in, because people still need food, things like that.
Speaking of the weather, as temperatures get colder and stuff like that, do you change up the food you bring, or with weather change, does that come a change to the pantry at all?
Not really. We do some programming about different recipes that you can make, so we try to make those seasonal. Right now we've got like soup and stews and how to do that kind of stuff. In the summer it's maybe more smoothies and salads that are nicer to cool down. So no. Yeah.
How many people are in your team, would you say?
Yeah. So we have 2 full-time staff members, and we have 1 graduate assistant and 5 student workers. And we run the food pantry, the clothing closet, the gown rental program, and the community garden, and our green fund programs. So not all of us just do food pantry.
Are the student positions paid? Or?
Yes. We do offer unpaid internships as well.
How do you actually get the food? Is it all donated, or do you go out? You said you go out and get it yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have monetary donations as well, and grants, and we use those to go actually purchase food. So me shopping at Walmart and taking all the ramen off the shelf, or pre-ordering at Sam's Club or something like that. And then we also source food from the food bank, the Tarrant Area Food Bank, and they actually come deliver it to us. Yeah.
Jumping off of that, what are some of the biggest challenges you face when trying to secure funding, and how does that impact the services that you provide?
Yeah, so since we are all donation-based, sometimes it's nerving if we're not getting a lot of donations in, and still having to still having to serve everybody or pay our student workers. So one of the ways that we do that is try to get big long-term grants, so that we know, okay, right now we have a grant with Kroger. It's a 5-year grant, and next year is our last year with them. So we know we have 1 year to figure out what our next plan is going to be. So by using things like grants, it helps to that stability. And so the extra donations that come in are of course helpful, and we may be able to get some extra special things or extra more items than we would just using the grant. But at least we have that grant as a foundation to make sure we can still open up every day.
Can we donate as students?
Yeah, of course. You can donate goods that you buy from the grocery store, or if you have things you're I'm actually not going to use this. 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. You can just come drop it by. We also have donation bins across campus if you see one. Or you can donate, you can bring cash or a check, or we have an online portal as well if you want to use like a debit card.
You talked
Sure.
about advertising like your products and like your stuff and unpaid internships, stuff like that. What's a way that y'all specifically advertise so people know that y'all are available and that people can help work or volunteer at the food pantry?
Yeah, we go to as many resource fairs as we can. So all the ones for freshmen that happen over the summer or like new students. And then we also, like if there's big events around campus, we try to make sure we're going to those. We also use Instagram and Facebook as a way to connect with people online. And then we use like the UNT newsletters to get the word out if we need volunteers. We also work a lot with classes like this, so I'm getting the word out to all of you right now and whoever else you're sharing these videos with. But we have other nonprofit management classes who come and do tours or do drives, or students who need volunteer hours for their degree program, and we connect with the program coordinator to make sure that those students know that they can use us as one of those locations.
On average, how many students do you service in a day?
In a day, that really depends on the day, but in a week we see from 700 to 800 students.
Have you seen any stigma surrounding food insecurity? And how does that affect the people that come to your pantry? And is there any way that you address that?
Yeah. So I was saying earlier, whenever I get this question, it feels a little weird to answer because I'm seeing the people who have at least gotten past that stigma and made it here. I'm not really interacting with the people who have this stigma because they haven't made it here. Some of the ways we do that is just going to those fairs like I talk about and just kind of breaking it down. Like, yeah, we have a food pantry. Like, we're loud and proud about it. Part of the decision for the location that we have is because it is a little secluded, and so people are feeling that stigma. They may feel a little bit safer coming to like the back of the building, so people don't really know, oh, you're going to the food pantry, right? And then just to make it known that like we're not here to judge you, we're not going to ask any questions. We really are here to help, and if you need help, then please come. And so I think people like y'all, like other students who are coming and just having them have that experience, coming and feeling safe, and then telling their friends it's okay, like go, it's fine, or I'll go with you, things like that.
Are there any limitation as to who it's for, like the food pantry?
I'm sorry, can you
Like, are there any limitations to students that can use it, or like qualifications that they need to meet?
Yeah. So the only requirement is that you're enrolled in classes. So if you end up taking a semester off, it wouldn't be available to you. But we offer resources for other food pantries in Denton. The only exception to that rule is like when you graduate, we let you use it for a little bit longer while you find your footing. And then over the summer, not everyone takes summer classes, but they may still be on campus, and we still let anybody use it then as well.
Do you face any problems or issues within the pantry that are kind of just consistent, and what do you do to try and address them and just improve upon them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we have a lot of people who get confused about what time we're open. We used to be open really random times, and so one of the ways we tried to fix that is to have a more consistent schedule, and we keep that schedule throughout a whole semester. People still get confused, like if we're closed one day and it's like, well, it's been posted on the wall the whole semester, so we just kind of have to, work with them. The other, I guess, issue that we have is people want specific items that we just can't source. So milk and eggs is a really big one people want, and they've been really hard to source. We have a really small fridge, so we can't fit a lot of eggs or milk in there, and we'd rather fit something like fresh produce. And so just talking with those students and explaining like the harsh reality, it's like, well, we can't give you this, but we can give you all of these other things. And doing whatever we can to try to source those when they are available. Like if we just have milk like once a week, or once a month, like maybe this is the one day we can have milk. We can't give it to everybody, but at least we tried, stuff like that.
Are Are there any plans for expansion since you guys don't have like the biggest fridge? Is there anything in the future that would lead or indicate that you guys are going to expand?
Yeah, so we're definitely trying. Like I talked with the grants or like any donors that may be willing to provide us another fridge, or we have a space that could work as a converted walk-in fridge and freezer space. So the conversations are out there. It's just a matter of finding the right donor who can help us with that. Because they're very big projects. Yeah.
So last week was non-traditional student week. Do you see more like traditional students, like freshmen, sophomores, people who live on campus, or more like non-traditional students, like people who are older on a commute, or
Yeah, our biggest population is master's students and international students. So some of those may be, I guess, traditional master's students if they just finished their bachelor's, but they're not undergraduate students, and we don't see a lot of students who live on campus either.
Do you have like a favorite story or maybe a time where you made an impact on like an individual or a group or like a family with the pantry or just helping people out? Like, do you have a favorite time?
Yeah, I don't have a specific story, but I think just in general, the